Dave Snyder here. It is September the 26th, 2012. Okay, so the other day I made a video about this weather pattern here, showing that it's an impact by the moon right here. Okay, the weather patterns prove it. They proved it that day and they prove it today. Okay, so what I did is I explained how I can't overlay a picture right here very well because it's getting up close to the pole. So I have to take this picture and save this picture just go up here and save the picture. I've already done it. And then I need to overlay it in the Pacific Ocean, so that's what I'm going to do right now to show you how it fits. And what we have today is this crater that's showing itself. Like I just pointed out in my last video, that I was trying to tell you how that crater right there was hidden in the ocean floor. You couldn't see it because it was hidden by pixelation. Believe me, they hide a lot of things. Okay, so here you go. I saved this image and I overlaid it in the Pacific. Let me show you here, just like I did on the last one. Here you go. This is the picture overlaid in the Pacific Ocean. Right here you see the United States right here, Canada's here. And we see this big curve right here. This is really cool. Now watch, I'm going to overlay the picture. It's already set in place. I'm not going to, last time I discovered this right in front of everybody. I discovered it while I was making the video. So there's no fooling trying to fool anybody. You've seen that I lined up one spot on that picture, and the whole picture, the whole moon crater lined up right into the weather pattern perfectly. All I had to do was line up one spot. Alright, same here today, pretty much. And this one might be a little different than the last one in the way that it fits along the land, but I looked it over and it looks pretty good. So here you go. This is the Mare Oriental crater again, reversed over the Earth. And I lined it up to the weather patterns. Now here's that crater, right here, in the clouds. That's the same crater as you see right there. See how it's kind of square? It's got a square shape to it. So does that crater. It's got a square shape to this side, and this side is square. It's in the right spot. You can see the opening at the bottom here, where everything kind of comes out the bottom. It's the same crater. That crater goes right there. And you can see like this line right here, and this line that comes back down this way. You can see that in the clouds too a little bit. See the same shape in the clouds. And you can see, let me just back it up a little bit. See how the curve is? I line up that one crater. That's all I did was line up that crater, and look at the curve. Look at the curve of the crater. See what I'm saying? All I did was line up that one crater in the ocean. We're in the clouds. It's in the clouds. The clouds show the weather patterns show the impacts of the moon. I'm telling you right now. Whether you believe it or not, whether you think that someone like me could really discover something like that, I have. Okay, I've tested it every single way I can. I mean, I've used other images. I've used USGS images of this crater, and they fit the same. It's a little different picture of the crater because it's a drawing of this area of the moon, right? And it's from 1978, and it looks different than this actual crater, but it is the same crater. It's just drawn differently. They don't show a big black hole in the middle. It's all white and black, so it's different. It looks different, but it's the same thing. And I line that up too, and the weather patterns fit that as well, really well. So I mean, it just confirms it. And then you can take individual craters and do the same thing. Individual craters in this picture, and do the same thing. So it goes there. You see the curve. You know that you can see the curve, and then you can see this start to come down like this, and it would finish off the whole inside circle of the crater. You can see that. You can also see where it comes out the side, like it always does in this crater. The weather seems to whip out the side of that crater out of this area here. Looks like it goes up some mountains and comes off the other side. But it would shape the Earth this way. The reason I say this is it shapes the Earth the same as the pattern. The patterns on the Earth, the weather patterns on the Earth follow the land, basically. Whatever's on the land, it follows. I mean, it's not only that, but it does have a lot to do with the way the weather is shaped on the Earth. It has to do with the land, even under the ocean. Even the land under the ocean, obviously, because it shows it right here. I mean, you can see that crater right there. There's a crater there is a crater there. Let me just show you something. Again, remember that spot right there, right off this area here? Okay, we'll go back up there. Okay, that spot is right here. Look, that spot is right here, right where you see all this pixelation. And they're hiding it right there. It's right here where they're hiding it. This whole area is pixelated. You can see the ocean floor clearly here, with the lines, every bump in detail. But here, you see pixels in here and just smooth area. That's because they're hiding it. I mean, if it goes right there, I showed you right there. It goes right there. It goes right there. So you can see it. It's like a different blue. It's different color. You can see it clearly. They do the same thing, like I pointed out before. They do the same thing down here. I'm pretty sure I know what this one is, but I'm going to work on a little bit more pretty soon and find out which one hits here truly. I think it's Tycho. While I don't know, it's hard to explain how it happens here and over there in a different spot. I got Tycho too, and it's kind of strange how it all goes together, but it does somehow, and I'm going to figure that out sooner or later. You know, I've rebuilt the supercontinent in a couple different ways, and it shows that they were together definitely during a lot of these impacts, that the continents were together, like especially South America and Africa. We know that they were together, and the impacts match on both continents. If I line up one continent, or if I line up the impact right here in South America, it fits the other side of that impact fits over here in Africa. So it just shows what breaks the continents apart. Okay, it's not plate tectonics slowly breaking this shit apart. It's not. It's not. It's big giant impacts by our moon, or either that or they're playing tricks with everybody. Because I'm not the only one that can see this. I mean, I'm showing you. You could do the same thing. You would see the same thing if you did the same thing. You would see the same thing I'm saying. You just have to pay attention to the weather patterns. It takes a little practice, and you can see a lot of stuff. Look at this Africa one I still got up here. Might as well look at it while I got it up. Watch the weather. It fit right into those those areas up there, all of them. I mean, this Africa-Europe one is just. I mean, this really undeniable. It's the total. This whole crater is the total shape of Africa. Can't get around that. I went too far. Hold on a second. I'm trying to shut it off here. Oh wait, I want to shut this one off. Okay, and then just check it out again. It is totally the shape of Europe and Africa. That hits right there, just like that. And I got some other ones. I need to start titling my stuff. I'm getting really bad at that. I got a whole list of stuff that's untitled. Look at all this. Oh man. And there's a lot of stuff I need to show too. Like I need to go back over this one that I showed a while back. I never titled it, I guess. So I got to find that one and bring that one back up with the weather. We got some pretty good weather there today. Some decent weather. Oh, there was real cool weather earlier. It was like looked like a duck right here earlier. It's all broke up. That's the center of the impact right there. That big volcano under the ocean right there. That's the center of the impact, and it's just a big impact right here. It shapes all of this, all of Africa on this part. I mean, it it hits all over the place. I'm telling you, the moon, the weather patterns show it. I just wish I had some other. Let me see. I got some other stuff to look at today. We'll go with this one right here, I guess. This is where they're always hiding the weather patterns on me. In the center of this strip, they'll hide that big center right there all the time with the weather up here. It fits weird today, but look at this. Look at this area. Look at this whole area. Look at that. Look at this over here, how it goes up and around. You can see that on the moon. Look at that. That is incredible. Sure, it's got its other fit. It fits everywhere, really. It's just a matter of knowing how to look at it. Look at that right there. The spot here is always like this. Something going on there usually. And this curve always fits here. This curve right here always fits. From a distance, you can see the curve right here in these clouds right here. You can see the curve somewhat, and this curve up here. So it's all within the borders where it's supposed to be. We'll check it out another time. Okay, so what else we got? Way up here. We'll look at Copernicus today. Let's see what we got here today. See, this picture should be a little bit bigger, I think. Squeezing it at the top. See how this corner is curved like this, and this that's what happens when you go towards the poles. That's why I was talking about earlier. I couldn't overlay it in the where the actual weather pattern was, because it would have squeezed the picture like this, and it always shrinks it down to a different size. It's kind of weird how it does that. I used to have a really good picture of Copernicus up here. It used to fit really good. It'll fit. Texas usually shows up in this one really good sometimes when there's a lot of weather in Texas. And I've checked out, see how this puts Mare Imbrium right up here at the top of this right here? I've checked that already a couple times, and I don't know, the weather shows it once in a while. Not today. Look at this. That could be something right there. I know there's other ones in North America that I've got up there already, but look at that. Should bring up some of those, I guess. Some days are better than others, but the weather always fits. Some days are better than other days, but look at the weather always fits in there. Look at that. When I first discovered this one, the weather was so awesome. I mean, it fit right in there so well. I mean, it's undeniable that this goes here. This goes here. I mean, look at this curve. Look at the curve in the weather there. You see some weather right there. That's right here. Look at this. Watch right here. Look at that. See how wide it tapers? It comes out like this, widens out. When it comes out of that area, you see the same shape right there. Look at that, right here, right here. Pretty interesting. Look at this curve. Okay, so there's that one. Let's see. This one. Just a little bit. Oh, I changed this one. This one needs to be all the way in North America, but I changed it to fit along with, like, a little bit different than the one we just looked at. This one fits pretty good too, though. Let's check it out. Make sure it's not better than the other one. Might be better than the other one. I doubt it, though. The other one's lined up really good. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so what else? South America, I showed you that earlier. The weather's changed a little bit. I showed that in my last video, but I mean, that was just earlier today, so I'm going to show you some more here while we're here. I have to go way up here because I did these so long ago before I even learned the weather trick, which was just by accidentally clicking on the weather one day. Oh, great. Look at that. Still fits. Hours later. Look at that. You got to be able to see that. Look at this right here. Look at that weather right there. Look. Right up to the edge. You can see that line right there. It's the same shape. I've been waiting all summer for this weather, believe it or not. I mean, I've had these images overlaid in place for months. I mean, months before summertime, even probably right around the beginning of the summer, actually. I laid these pictures down in place, a bunch of them in South America, like 8 of them. Okay, and I go through them with the weather. Now that we got weather here, there hasn't been weather here all year, pretty much. Just really light clouds throughout here, and not enough to really see anything. But now you can see how they fit, all up here and everything. It's a different kind of weather than I usually get on the other continents that I put the picture down on, or that I use to find. See, I would never find this. I would never know what to look for if I seen something like that. It wouldn't make me think moon impact, right? Ones I usually see are big round circles that I know are moon impact, and I can put a picture right down inside of them right away, real quick, and get them to line up. This one here, like I said, these have been in place for a long time. I have not adjusted them to the weather. They were adjusted to the land. Let me show you how they fit on the land. Okay. This is Brazil, basically. It's almost all of Brazil. Okay, take a look. That is your South America right there. One of your impacts in South America anyway. Look at the borders. I showed this a long time ago before you can see the evidence on my video that I had these set in place way before I learned about the weather. Way before then. So I haven't moved these images, and now that we have weather, I bring it up, and then there you go. You see what happens. It fits right in the lines. Let's turn the weather back on, see what it looks like, borders and stuff. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's right in the borders. Just updated. Pretty cool. You can see how this line, right, it just goes really well in there. Okay, here's a couple more. Let's go with number 2. A little different, but it still looks like it fits. I mean, this one fits over the land really good too. We'll check it out. Over the land. I'll turn the borders on this. This one's good with borders too. See all this up here? Here, hold on. Okay, and then number 3, I want to skip to 5 actually. With the weather. Turn the borders off first. Kind of confusing everybody probably. Okay, so here we go. This is a good one too. Oops. That one's not showing any kind of circular shape though. That's the only problem with that one. But this one was showing some really good weather over here earlier. You can watch the other video I just made earlier. Oh, look at that V. Look at that V right there. Watch this. Oh, that's really good right there. That's really damn. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the weather right here. Look at that V. Tell me you can't see that V. There's a circular circle right there too. You can see the circle right there and everything. That is badass. See, it's that kind of stuff right there. Like I said, these craters have been overlaid in reverse on the Earth, on my Google Earth for months before I ever noticed. So I'd never adjusted these craters to fit weather patterns at all. These are all adjusted to the land on the Earth. These craters, they're made. I overlaid them to fit with the land. Now the weather is here. I can turn on the weather, and you see the stuff that's happening right now. This is what happens. Look at that V. That's just a perfect V shape right there, and you can see it clearly. You can also see this band that comes up this way. Wow. Another V right there. That's you can see the line here. That stuff is great when you see that. That's the stuff I try to get on video every time, but it's not always that easy to do. To where people would see it. I mean, sometimes I skip around pretty quick too. I'm using a 42-inch screen. It's a little bit easier for me to see than it is for anybody with a 20-inch or 18-inch monitor. If you're using an 18-inch monitor, you're going to have to do this yourself. You're not going to be able to see what I'm trying to show you. But you can if you do it yourself on it. Well, I don't know, not an 8, maybe not an 18. I used to use a 20-inch, and I had to put my glasses on to make sure I was seeing right. But then I decided to just buy a bigger screen because it was just getting too. I was seeing too many good things. I mean, I knew that what I was seeing something, and I had to get something to confirm it. So I made sure I got a bigger screen just so I could see and make sure that I was seeing what I was seeing. And I got friends that come over all the time, and they can see what I'm talking about. I had my biggest critic over earlier. He's the one that I always argue with. You know, he's the one that always tells me it don't fit, and and I got to tell him, no, it does fit. You just don't understand. You know, because he doesn't really understand what I'm trying to show, apparently, because if he did, he would see it too. But he saw this one today right off the bat, the one that I already posted a video about, where I discovered the one in the Pacific where I started this video off at. And I've got, that's 3 times I put that crater there by using the weather. 3 times in the same spot. So I know it got hit there next to the Pacific. There's got to be another one down here too, this big bulge. There's one right in the middle of the Pacific I could put in there somewhere. I put a couple in there already, but I wasn't sure if that one was right after looking at the weather up here the other night. I saved some weather. See how they got that shape? That's bullshit. You know, but I saved a picture the other night that was really, really good of the North Pole. And I put this crater that I had put it here in the Pacific the other day, and it fit really good up there. When I brought this down here, I had to save it and bring it down and overlay it here like I just did in the beginning of the video. But you can see there's all kinds of shapes in the weather that need explanation. I mean, there's just too much. They show too much. There's no way that it didn't hit the Earth. Unless the moon images and the weather's all fake, then it's possible that it didn't, right? If the weather's all real and the pictures they give us of the moon are real, then you can really believe that the moon's hit the Earth. And look at this. Look at the Grand Canyon. Look, the history of the Earth all over the place shows something more extreme happening than what they tell us. They just don't want to tell you this because it's not. It changes all science. It changes it all. It changes all the science that they've been teaching all these years. There's no way that they'd ever stab themselves in the back that way. You know what I mean? And there's all the other reasons too, like gold and all that, and I've already covered all that. And it sounds so far-fetched, I know, but because the scientists have got most people brainwashed. Because nobody ever checks for themselves. See, I've checked for myself. You haven't checked for yourself, I guarantee it. If you had, you'd know. I guarantee you would know. So I know you haven't checked for yourself, unless you're like me. And then I've checked for myself, and I keep checking every day. Find more and more. I mean, I'm starting to get a little bit burned out on it myself. But I mean, I'll stick with it. I'll get it all figured out eventually. Probably take more than Google Earth to do it, but because they hold back so much. You know, they hide weather, they hide everything. Look at that! Look at that North Pole. That's hiding weather right there. Look at the South Pole. That's good. They got something right there, hiding that, hiding this right here. See that? See where there's no weather right here? That's that straight line. This straight line. There's a lot to do with the South Pole. Is big time impact. Just dead center to Antarctica. Dead center. See all these limbs that come off the side of these clouds? Those are all from the outside rings of that same crater right here. Look at this. It's all this. It's all the stuff that comes around the outside of it. Right there. All that weather. That weather is shaped by this same crater. I know it sounds crazy, but it is. It absolutely is. That crater, I mean, look, let me show you something on the moon. That's not the only crater that's ever hit the Earth. The reason I think it might confuse me so much, and I use it so much, is that it shaped it used to hit a lot, or something. It used to hit a lot of times, or quite a few times anyway. And it shaped every time that the moon, other parts of the moon have hit the Earth. It seems like it shaped itself like Mare Oriental. I mean, they've hit inside an old Mare Oriental impact or something. That's how long. Oh, I was going to mention the Grand Canyon too. Grand Canyon. The layers. It's made up of about eight sediment layers that are all from sediments that were flooded in, and then it flooded again. All different sediment layers. I mean, the Grand Canyon is like a mile deep. So we're talking sediment layers, really, really thick sediment layers. It would take something like a moon impact to create those sediment layers. Bullshit. I mean, it had to. And I mean, this one I just did earlier. Let me show you something here. And we'll go to the moon. Okay, so here's 2 I just did. Okay, so we look over by the Grand Canyon area too. Look at this. If this hit here, this would create a sediment layer like you wouldn't believe, right? I mean, it would really create a lot of things. It would just be hell on earth. Hold on a second. be hell on earth. But I was looking at the Grand Canyon area. Anyways, I looked at how the land fit this crater, this edge, pretty good. And I was looking at the Grand Canyon. It's not a very clear area here, but this is it right in this area here. And it seems to run perfect. That little, see that line? Seems to run pretty parallel with the Grand Canyon there. See that? I don't know. The rest of it looks pretty good too. I thought that the Colorado Plateau is pretty much that same shape right there. See that? You know, so you can see that they're hiding the stuff inside these fine areas, these light areas here. You can see that they're totally pixelating those areas. Look at that. There's a bunch of bumps right there. Those bumps are like that all over the place. All over. They put those in there. Better believe they put those in there. 'Cause I didn't put them in there. That's to hide shit. See that angle right there? That curve right there? It would be the same thing if it was right there at that point. It'd be the same angle right there. So, you know, there's a lot of things that could be off a little bit. Not really. Look at San Francisco right there. California. That's like the shape of California. Then you got that cloud that curves right around the edge. And the crater right there in the ocean. Look at that. I already showed you they're hiding that. Look at this line right here. Watch that line. Look at that. That's a sure one right there. Like I said, I've lined it up 3 times, 3 different ways, with 3 different weather patterns. So every day it doesn't matter what the weather's like, I guarantee I could line that crater up right there in that spot. Every day. I know it's hard to understand, but it's not really. The moon is right there really close to us. I mean, at least we think it is. If it's bigger, it's obviously bigger than they say it is. So then it's probably further away than it actually led to believe. Because I mean, if we're going by the size they tell us, then it's, you know, it'd be normal. But it's got to be bigger, so it's got to be further away too. Got to be. They just don't tell us how far it is because they don't want to admit that they never went to the damn moon. Yeah, I know. That's a touchy subject with so many people. But you got to believe. By the prince on the earth, something's going on here. Something. They're lying about something. And that's what it is. That's what I think it is. Look at that crater. Look at the curve. Look at this, how it all bunches up right here. Look at that. Right at the end of the curve, you got that. Look at that. Then you can even see the Aleutian Islands in there. You can kind of see this curve right here. Look. And then we'll go down to Hawaii and we can see that too. Look at that curve. I can see a curve right here. Right there. You see that curve? There's your islands. Then we go. I know it's hard to see with the clouds in the way, but we'll go down here to Hawaii. Or by Hawaii. Where am I? Oh, down here. Where you see this area. Look at this area here. I don't know. See how it comes out to this point? It's right there. It does the same thing on the moon or the Earth. Right there in the ocean floor. See this curve, and you see this come up and come out. Same thing. And if you look at this crater from a distance, you see how it's shaped at the bottom like a V, like this. Comes down like this, like the Hawaiian Island chain does. I don't know. That other one I did the other day was really good. If one that's the same spot, just check it out. I'm about done for the night here. All right. Have a good day.